Hey there, it's Irene Lyon, and welcome to this video, welcome to this YouTube channel, and welcome to my world, this world of healing trauma and working at the deep, deep root level of the nervous system. Now, I want to welcome you here if you're brand new. I also want to welcome you if you've been here for a long time. The bottom line is that we want to keep working at this root level because it really does hold the answers to so many of the troubles and sufferings and pains that we as humans deal with daily, monthly, yearly, and really over generations and centuries, to be honest. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit today. And today, the topic I want to talk about is doubt. We could also say resistance, but it's that thing that happens when we get to that point in our journey of wellness and improving our bodies and improving our minds and our souls and our nervous system and all of that, when we feel like, is this actually ever going to change? Am I ever going to see and feel more peace in my system, more freedom? Am I ever going to reach that place of knowing I've actually made a dent in all of this stuff that I'm trying to improve? And this was inspired by a question that I got through Instagram. So I'm going to read the exact question. So the question was, how do we best cultivate hope for when we're in, and they capitalized in, the hard parts of doing the work? Now there's 4 steps to this, 4 pieces. And I did answer this on Instagram, but I wanted to explain and kind of divulge a bit more in this video. So the first thing is that we must have a strong belief that we can heal. And this is sometimes really tough when we're at the beginning of something. I always compare this journey of nervous system health and healing the nervous system and healing stored past traumatic stresses, healing early trauma, developmental trauma. I actually talked about this in an interview I did a little while ago, which I will post below here. It's an interview with Kathy Kain. So we need to believe. And when we are doing improvements in our body, I worked in fitness and in nutrition for a long time in my 20s and 30s. And there was a strong pull for people to improve themselves around the time of New Year's. And right now when I'm recording this video, it is almost December 1st. So it's that final stretch of 4 weeks before we kind of claim our New Year's resolutions. And now I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try this diet, or I'm going to get back into this exercise regime. And I'll tell you this, when we go into that mentality of on January 1st, I'm going to do this, from my experience, it doesn't work. It really doesn't matter what time of year you do it. And in some ways, waiting until that moment, saying, I will start on January 1st, it sets us up for failure. So I would say start today, start in June, start when there's a spark, when there's that knowing that you have to make a difference. And maybe you already know that, but I just want to give you that little kind of nugget of knowledge in working with thousands of people in the fitness and nutrition industry. Most folks who go gung-ho with something and get obsessed tend to not survive that gung-ho-ness and obsession because we can't rev at that level. So the one thing you will learn with me if you stick around is that I'm not about the quick fix. I'm not about going until you collapse and can't go anymore. It's about little tiny shifts and improvements, little tiny bits of education, little tiny awareness bubbles that we grow each day. It doesn't have to be fancy things, that create huge transformation overnight. I would rather you do small and slow and steady, because this is lifestyle. This isn't something that one day you wake up and you go, oh, I'm healed, it's all gone. Because we will have, I can guarantee this, stressors, traumas, hurts, pains that come into our system until we die. And we need to know that that's going to happen and be okay with that, but then have the resiliency and the skill. That's the important word here, the skill and the awareness, the self-awareness, the biological awareness to know, I'm getting a little stressed right now, or that was really traumatic, and I'm just going to take a second to feel that and not freak out about it. So to go back to this first thing, we need to believe that we can heal. And we also have to know that it's not going to be this quick thing. So that's sort of the first thing when it comes to how do we cultivate more hope. We really have to change this framework. It's like a 180-degree shift of mentality and perspective towards this work. When you can do that, and I've seen my clients do that, when they change that perspective, things get a lot easier because there isn't this panic to try to get it done faster, better. And why do we want to go into more survival energy, more survival stress when we're trying to heal just that? The second thing that relates to being able to continue to have hope, and this is something that I've actually written about and done another video on, so I'm going to post it below and I won't go deep into it, but not only do we need to feel that we can heal, so that belief, that was number one, we have got to feel in ourselves and work towards deserving of it. We have to feel that we deserve it. And this goes back to our early imprints with our caregivers, what we would consider those primary wirings that we got that let us know that we are worth something, that we're worthy of love, of attention unconditionally, right? If we were given conditions and we were only given gifts and presents when we did well in school, or if we were denied care when we were bad little kids, that's going to set up a very, very insidious but strong hold on our psyche, our biology, our behavior, how we relate to the world, but really how we relate to ourselves. So we have to deserve, we have to feel that we deserve it. And this, again, back to the first point, it takes time, it takes practice. It's just like learning a new language. I always use that analogy. Doing this work is like learning a new language. For me, English was my first language. I am still trying to figure out punctuation. I am still figuring out grammar and learning new words. It never ends. So maybe the next time there's this sort of feeling like not wanting to keep going, think of something in your life that you actually continually work at and improve at and better yourself at, and see that as the same when it comes to working with your health and your nervous system. Now, the third thing that we need to understand when we are working with our nervous system, we're wanting to heal past traumas, right? So we're believing that we can heal. We've kind of cognitively said to ourselves, I deserve this, and we're working at that biological level to believe and deserve it. The next thing is to know that there are going to be some sticky and icky things that we feel. And here's why. When we trap that stuff in our system, when we put our, skeletons in the closet and put the dirt under the rug and, kind of ignore it, it doesn't just dissolve, right? True, right? If you have a rug with lots of dirt under it, that isn't just going to disappear. Fairies aren't going to come and clean that stuff up. We've got to actually do it ourselves. And then it'll be stinky, maybe it'll be dusty. We'll have to do the work. So when we start to become more educated around the nervous system and what it does, what it offers us, how it traps and stores stuff, and as we start to become more biologically aware, and as we have the intention and telling our body, I want to heal this, I deserve to be free of these toxicities, it's going to come up and out. We are going to express the pain, the feelings that we've trapped inside, the sensations. If our immune system is what shut down and kind of went into its own little state of freeze when we were little, we might have our immune system act up a bit. If our gut was what protected us when we were young and it was always really braced and clenched, when we start to release and start to have this different relationship with our body and our nervous system, our gut might act up a little bit. Same with our heart. If our heart kind of trapped all of the strain and stress and stayed really calm, it really shut down, when we start to come out of that shutdown and freeze, it's going to start to not know how to regulate. It might feel like we're having a heart attack. It might feel like this panic that's just uncontrollable. And this is actually quite normal. The thing is when we do this work, we want to not do it in a big bang kind of way. We need to do it slowly, methodically, with awareness, with safety, with containment. I liken it again to learning a language. If you want to learn a language, it's usually not best to just be dropped in the middle of, say, I don't know, Rio or somewhere, and all of a sudden be like, I have no guidebook, I have no translator, I have no knowledge of the ABCs or even how to ask where the bathroom is. In Portuguese, it's like, I have no idea what to do, and no one speaks English, for example. That's not very safe. That might kind of put us off. We might want to start first at home learning ABCs and how to say our name and ask where the toilet is or where the cab is or how to find my hotel or can you help me read this, right? We want to titrate our experience of learning our body language and releasing stress and trauma. It's just like learning a language. So if I go back, we're talking about how to continue to have hope when we're in this work. First thing was we don't want to believe. Second, we want to feel that we deserve this work. And then the third thing was knowing that we are going to feel the icky, sticky things because it's been trapped in our systems for good reason. But it's going to come out, and when it comes out, we might feel stuff that ain't that great, and that is okay. But having the knowledge that that might happen sets us up to anticipate and maybe expect it. You don't want to try going looking for it because maybe you've done such good foundational work that when that stuff does come up, your system is actually primed to ride that wave of a bit of pain or a bit of emotion or maybe some gut troubles that surface, but then they calm down. So how we relate to those symptoms that come up will greatly affect how they either stay flared and stay stuck or release and integrate. The fourth thing around this having hope when we're in it is when we have belief and when we have desire, there is going to be, at some point along our journey, doubt. And we just need to know that that doubt is going to pop up, that there is going to be some resistance. There's going to be some struggle of not wanting to go there. And the reason why it's really important to just know that it's going to come up is because A, it will, probably, we're not perfect, but it's also going to come up because your nervous system, our nervous system, if it was holding all that dirt and all those skeletons in the closet, when we start to take them out, it's going to actually feel foreign and unsafe. It's not going to be normal. We actually, in our mind and in our wiring, would rather stay the way we were as opposed to change and have to create something new. Even though that new situation is going to be way healthier, it's going to be more regulated in your nervous system. You're going to have a better immune system, a better cardiovascular system, better ability to relate to people. But if we're not used to that, if we've been sitting and swimming and kind of drowning in our survival stress by keeping all these traumas inside, it will seem strange to try to rewire that. And we may feel even a little empty because our world has been driven by this survival stress, by drama, by this past narrative that I can't heal, there's no hope, no one was ever there for me, I'm always sick. That makes sense? So know that the doubt is real, and it's actually more than just a cognitive thing. It's a deep biological unwiring of something that we've had so close to us, and now it's like, this is completely different. What is going on? I don't know how to be this way with my system when it isn't filled with stress and trauma and fear and anxiety and pain. So know that with this journey, if you choose to take this journey and really work with it and make it a lifestyle, doubt's going to come up. It's going to come up. So will be perhaps some pains and some of those icky, sticky things that we've stored inside. And then to end those first 2 points, how to stay within hope when this stuff is tough, belief, and the belief that you deserve this work to work for you, and that you deserve to be free of all the past stuff that really maybe had nothing to do with you. It was maybe our generations before us, how we were treated as children. But know that we can move forward, we can heal, we can get better. All right. Thank you for watching. Again, if you want to check out any of my other videos, check below in the show more. I'll post a few. Keep watching, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.